Liftoff will start in T-minus 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have ignition.
It's time! 17 seconds from Game 7 or from championship number 6. Jordan open. Chicago with the lead. Harper got a piece of it. It comes off. The Chicago Bulls have won their 6th NBA championship.
Tying run at second, 2 out. Palmero over the head of Jenks. Uribe charges, throws, out! And the White Sox have won the World Series.
To the far side around the 8-yard line to Hester. Under it and to the middle with the 15 to the 20, breaks 3 to the 25 to the 30 to the outside. 40, midfield, 40, 30 to the coast, 20, 15, Hester 5. Oh! Touchdown!
Toward Bryant. He will glove it toward Rizzo. It's in time. And the Chicago Cubs win the World Series.
What up, what up, what up? Welcome to Shawn and Maya in the morning on this House Music Monday edition. I'm your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra. Thanks for tuning in. If you're watching us on Facebook Live, well, then I guess you found us on Facebook. And if you're not following us on Facebook, what? Come on, go to Facebook, type in Sports Zone Chicago, click the like button, and now you're following Sports Zone Chicago. Simple. But wait, there's more. Go to the show's page, go to Shawn and Maya in the morning, like that page as well. So not only will you be following Sports Zone Chicago, but you'll be following Shawn and Maya in the morning as well. If you're watching us on our YouTube channel, excellent. And if you're not subscribed to our YouTube channel, for real, come on, guys, go to YouTube, type in Sports Zone Chicago, click the subscribe button, but also click the notification button. That's the little bell that's next to it, and that'll let you know anytime a show from Sports Zone Chicago is going live. Get it? Got it? Good. Now, if you're watching this on our mobile app, come on, baby. Please don't tell me you didn't know we had a mobile app, because we got a mobile app. So wherever you get your app from, go there. It doesn't matter where you get your apps from. Just go there. Whether it's iTunes or Google Play or Amazon or Walmart, Kmart, 7-Eleven, Zayre, Zemsky, Macy, Montgomery Ward, Woolworths, Webolts, Gold Blast. It doesn't matter. You go there, you type in Sports Zone Chicago, you download it, you take us with you on the go. So not only do you get Shawn and Maya in the morning 3 days a week, not only do you get our other live shows throughout the week, and not only are they archived there like they are on Facebook and YouTube, but I'll tell you what, we give you a slew, and I mean a slew of articles, thanks to my man Clarence Council III. Big up to Clarence for keeping you abreast of all articles Chicago sports related. If you're watching this on a Roku channel, I like that kind of party, baby. If you don't know, you better ask somebody. Sports Zone Chicago, we have our own Roku channel. So if you have a Roku television in the house, do us a favor. Download Sports Zone Chicago's channel to your television. Put us there next to all the big boys. Netflix, Hulu, Apple, Prime, HBO Max, Disney Plus, Paramount Plus, Stars. Put us right there. Put us smack dab in the middle. You can watch us on the big screen. Oh, we should be on the big screen, right, Mickey? Now. You can also tweet the show. Tweet us at Sports Zone Shy. That's CHI at Sports Zone Shy. Now, if you want to follow me, just me personally online. Want to know what I did? Let me tell you what I did. I made it nice and easy for you, folks. Nice and easy. One handle for Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, and TikTok. All one handle at the Shawn Sierra. Guys, we got a great show for you, but I need you to get interactive. So whatever platform you're watching us on, whether it's Facebook, YouTube, or a mobile app, leave a question or comment on that platform. It'll come up here in a thread. We'll put it up on the screen. We'll incorporate it into the show. And that, my peoples, is what makes this the best morning Chicago sports talk show around. And that's you. So bring them all, baby. Questions, comments, smart-ass remarks, because ain't nobody scared over here. And like The Rock said, baby, don't sing it. Just bring it. Let's check out the chat. We're jumping already. That's what I'm talking about on the House Music Monday. Black Diamond got in early, baby. He says, top of the morning, ding dong, the clown is gone. Woo, Black Diamond, thank you for checking in. I mean, Armando Emeterio Lara Jr., he's checking in. He said, Rivalry Saturday was Brawl Saturday. Yes, it was. We're going to talk about that as well. Great minds thinking like Cornelius Squalls. What up? Cornelius Squalls in the house. Thank you for tuning in. Shawn Walls in the Mickey Ficky house. What's up on a House Music Monday? And the Thomas Brown affair begins. Yes, it does, baby. Yes, it does. Woo. You know what? I think that, hey, Steve-O, that might be the next thumbnail on Wednesday, the Thomas Brown affair. I like it. I like it. Levette Lee checking in. Thank you, Mosh. Says happy House Music Monday, y'all. Appreciate it. My man checking in. James Ford in the house. James, what's up, Papa? How are you? Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate you. Mr. Shode is in the house at Morning Zoners. The shit show continues. Fire the McCaskies. I wish we could. Oh, I wish we could. Oh, I wish we could. Oh, I wish we could. Patty Lara's on the house. Good morning, Matt. Thank you for tuning in. It's the top of the morning. Happy House Music Monday. It is a beautiful House Music Monday. And Shorty's checking in crazy. Oh, man, it's crazy. I was in New Orleans over the holiday weekend. I need a vacation from my vacation. That's hilarious. That's good stuff. Luis Mejia in the house. Good morning, Papa. Rise and grind to my man. Oh man, we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it as the new Bears head coach. We'll talk about it. We will talk about it. Man, we're jumping already, baby. Jumping already, and I like it. I like that kind of party. But listen, I don't know a lot about a lot, but I do know this. More of the usual suspects will chime in as the show goes on. We got a great show for you at 10 o'clock. My man's in them. Ken Davis is going to join us, and we're going to talk Eberflus firing. We're going to talk. Dude, we got so much to talk. It's not even funny. The dysfunction. It's like, where do you begin? Where do we even start? All right, so we definitely have a lot to talk about. Where'd you go? Yeah, there you go. We definitely have a lot to talk about today. So make sure you're at 10 o'clock, my man Ken Davis. Yeah, baby. Ken Davis. And I'm anxious to hear his thoughts. I have an idea. I think I know how he might be leaning, but we're going to hear it from the horse's mouth. My man Ken Davis at 10 o'clock. So it's going to be a fun show, man. I'm really looking forward to it. And all this craziness is happening with the Bears doing something for the first time in franchise history. DJ Moore talking this morning. It's just a shit show. Who said it earlier? This shit shows continue to go. Is that you, Brian? Shorty? Yeah, the shit show continues, Mr. Shorty. Yep. And that's all it is. That's all it is. And it's incompetence at the utmost, at the highest level of this organization. We're national. We are a national. If we put it this way, you thought, this is why you never ask, it can't get any worse. Never say that. Never say, well, it can't get any worse, can it? This is why you never ask that question, because it can always get worse. You thought people were talking about us before. We are a national joke. A national joke. And it's embarrassing. Junior says, I really didn't buy into the Bears. We're going to be good this season. You know what, Junior? I will tell you this. You did say that. You're like, yeah, I don't know. We're going to wait and see. You did have some reservations. You had reservations. I remember, Junior. But man, I know you couldn't have you nor anyone else could have foreseen this type of dysfunction. This type, as Shawn says, total dysfunction. You know, we're at a place where people they're looking at us and just laughing. And I don't really get into too much, like, okay, fine, whatever people think of me, that's cool. because you don't know me for the most part, unless you're, a good friend of mine like Junior. But how do we feel as an organization? I get it. You're still billionaires. You're still worth $6-8 billion, the franchise. But to have the local and the national media addressing your dysfunction is downright embarrassing. Junior, we're brothers, Shawn. Yeah, we are, Junior. Yes, we are. Down to the fact that we have the same birthday. We were both born on July 25th. How crazy was that when we found out we had back in 1997, we found out we had the same birthday? Holy shit, I'm going on 30 years of knowing you, dude. 30 years I'm going on. Woo! 27 years. Well, that's right, because Mono's 27. That's right. Yeah, he's the short, fat, ugly one. Luis, Mono's the short, fat, ugly one. King Booker World checking in. What's up, Papa? Thanks for tuning in, bro. I appreciate it. But this is really going. It's gone to the highest level, and everyone is talking about it. Everyone has an opinion about it. I have an opinion about it. And, first I want to start off. See, here's the thing. I try to mind my own business. Okay? I try to mind my own business. All right? People have different takes, and that's cool. I don't have to agree with them. It's freedom of speech. But I don't call people out and say, this guy's an idiot, that guy's an idiot, this guy's an idiot, that guy's an idiot. Okay? I don't. There's no need for it. I don't need to put someone else down to build myself up. Okay? But last week, former friend and colleague Phil Toshin decides to call me out because of my take, because I said part of this was on Caleb. Calls me out in front of his people. I don't talk about you. Now you're making me talk about you. I don't talk about you. I don't talk about you. I don't think about you. Never has your name. Have I uttered your name from my mouth on my show? Okay? I don't do that, but you felt it was okay to try and put me on Front Street, put me on blast. Okay? My thought is this. I don't go at your takes, so don't come after mine. I don't know who the hell you think you are, that you're the only person who has a take or an educated take. And if someone doesn't agree with it, then you call him a clown. Then you call him a slug, or what did you call Nightcrawler? Is that what you call me, a Nightcrawler? If someone doesn't agree with you sound like a little petulant child. Maybe it's a Napoleon complex you have. But if someone doesn't agree with you, then they don't know football. But you know damn well I know football. You know damn well. And because my take was a little different than yours, you want to come at me? Dude, don't do that. Because if there's more things that you want to continue to put my name in your mouth on your show, no problem. Whenever I see you, it's on site, just so you know. Period. It'll be on site. Okay? On site. I don't talk about you. I don't talk about you and your clan. I don't do that. You want to keep me in your mouth? Why am I so important to you that you have to talk to me? And then Shane, his buddy, the smartest man in the world, the smartest man in the world. You never played football, so what the fuck are you so smart about? What's your opinion about? An uneducated one is what it is. They're both talking about me. Why? What am I doing? I'm staying in my own lane, not even thinking about you mugs. But you want to bring my name up on your show and try and talk shit? Come on, man. That's not cool. But like I said, if it keeps up, you or Shane, either one, it'll be on site. Okay? Just so you know. There's no need to disrespect me. I don't disrespect you. I don't talk about you. Because you don't like my take. Okay. Okay. You don't like my tweet. Okay. No problem. There's a thing called just keep scrolling. You can just keep scrolling. But no, you're like little trolls. You're like, oh, Shane said, oh, I texted you with Shawn's tweet. Am I that important in your life that you gotta you're hanging on every word I say or my tweets? Come on, man. That shit ain't cool. And we used to be boys. We used to be pretty close. So just keep my name out your mouth, man. Guys, I don't bother you. I don't talk about your show. I don't disparage your show. Nothing. If anything, I still talk about the good content, the good tape analysis that you have. That's the only thing I'll ever say. So to talk shit about me, like a little petulant child because I didn't agree with you, a little spoiled brat. I honestly don't know who you think you are. Like you're the only person who can break down film and has an opinion. You're not the only person who can break down film. A lot of other people like us can do it as well, and at a high level. I did that for a long time. So, because your opinion and my opinion didn't match, okay. It's called the free country, free will. We have our own opinions. Freedom of speech. I digress. Now, I'm not going to mention him anymore on my show because there's no need to. But 10 o'clock, my man Ken Davis, I'm fired up to have him on the show, man. It is going to be fun. It is going to be fun. I'm telling you, it is going to be, man, Ken Davis, he's going to bring the heat. Remember, he took off a couple weeks. He was like, man, I'm not. He had to kind of come back down to earth, and the Bears were frustrating him, and they're frustrating all of us. Like they're frustrating all of us. Okay? Well, my man, he's one guy I love talking Bears football with, and we don't always agree on everything. It's a crazy thing, huh? We can disagree, and we don't have to call each other names. Well, Mr. Shorty, well, that's not cool, bro. That's not cool. If what you said is true? If what you said was true, it is true, then that's not cool. That's not cool. But again, I'm going to continue to not mention him or what he does. I had respect for him. I had respect for him. Just because we fell out doesn't mean I don't have respect for what he does until now. But again, I digress. This has been a complete and utter embarrassment. I don't know how you can go into, how do you show your face? It's embarrassing because you got dysfunction everywhere. You interview the head coach before you hire the general manager. You hire the general manager before you hire the president of football operations. It's all bass-ackwards. It's all bass-ackwards. It's all bass-ackwards. That's not how you do stuff. And now the search is on. So now, according to Adam Schefter, Kevin Warren is going to conduct a search with help from Ryan Poles. Why? That's Ryan Poles' job. Dude, if that's exactly what's happening, and I tend to believe, was it Rappaport? No, Ian Shefty. I tend to believe him. But if you have to have your president of football operations conducting the search and not your general manager, what the hell is your general manager doing? What's his gig? What's his job title? Why is he even there? He's supposed to help out? No, that's supposed to be your responsibility. You know, that's ridiculous. I don't know. You know what? I lament at the fact that it's unfortunate that he lost his job. Okay, but he earned it. He earned that firing. I'm not celebrating it because it sucks when you lose your job. And I know he's still getting paid. I know they're paying him out his contract the last 2 years. So you don't see too many tears coming from my eyes, do you? You don't see too many tears coming from my eyes. He's still getting his few, $3-4 million, $5 million, whatever he's making a year. He's still getting that. It'll probably stay at his Lake Bluff lakefront house until he gets another job. Because if you saw that house on Hard Knocks, that house was dope. I stayed there as long as I could as well. I stay there too until maybe we should keep this. So I'm not celebrating it. I'm glad him as a coach is gone. As a person, there's still, again, it's embarrassing. It hits your core as a coach, as you know what I mean? And we've all been fired from different shit. You know what I mean? And it attacks, it hurts you. But with this guy who's worked himself up, it's tough. But he really earned his firing. There were just countless, far too many instances where he didn't step up and he needed to. And the one thing that if you've ever played a sport, especially football, Junior, you and I know, when your coach ain't shit, you know it. Junior and I played for a guy who had no idea in-game situations. We were like, hey, Daryl, what down is it? He didn't even know to look at this damn scoreboard. So believe me, I understand the plight of some of these players when you have a coach who you don't believe in anymore. So now we turn the page. Well, no, before we turn the page, one of the big, and here's the asinine part about it, is that still the press conference they let him do after the game the next day. So that nobody had the foresight to say, you know what, let's postpone this. Because that decision had to have been made already. Or were they crossing T's and dotting I's? What were they doing? What were they doing that you let this guy go out there, embarrass himself even more, embarrass your organization more by going out there? Because you know what the questions are going to be. The questions are going to be what the questions were. Will you feel comfortable at your job? He's like, yeah, I feel confident. He looked like an ass. And you did this to him. You did this to him. And he's like, oh, yeah, I feel good. I'm getting ready for next week. And then you fire him 2 hours later. Come on, man. That shows what we all know, and that's incompetence in that building over there. You don't do that. You don't do that. You postpone it, you make the decision, you let him go, and then Ryan Poles, here's where we need to see you. Apparently he's speaking today at Hallis Hall. We needed to see you the other day. That's where we needed to see you. Because you got to get some of this smoke too. You got to get a lot of this smoke. A lot of this shit is your fault. A lot of this shit is your fault. He was, 2-15 or something in one-score games? Get him a better offensive line. Get Justin a better offensive line. Give Kittim a better offensive line. Why can't you win? Because your quarterbacks are running for the God-blessed lives. How many times were we in one-score games because of Justin? Just because of Justin. And this year because of Caleb. How many times were we in one-score games? Because of them, and that's despite a crappy offensive line. And that's on you, Poles. We need to hear you speak. When a change like that is made, we need to hear you speak. And don't put out a press conference. Don't put out a, no. Get up there, face the heat. Hey, here's what we're doing and why. Don't put out don't hide behind a press release. Man, his seat better be getting warm as well, because the stuff he's doing is pretty bad as well. Because you're sounding really stupid now talking about we're going to take the North and never give it back. That did not age well. You got a great, promising young quarterback who's keeping you in games, and you won't protect them? So we need to see Ryan Poles. You should have been out Friday. Should have been out in front of the cameras Friday, in front of the media, answering questions. These are tough questions. This is why you get paid the big bucks. This is why you get paid the big bucks. It's all fine and dandy. Remember I told you, general managers want to be the pretty boys now. They want to be the most important person in the organization. It goes across all sports. But football in general. Ryan Poles, where were you? That we needed you. When a move like that is made, this is the first time in the 105 years, 105 years, because you played in 1920, 105-year existence that they fired a coach mid-season. And you don't come and talk to us and tell us why? I'll get to you when I get to you? What kind of nonsense is that? What kind of nonsense is that? I'll get to you when I get to you. Yeah, I'll get next week, whatever. You didn't find it important enough to tell the fans, the media who are conduits to the fans, you didn't to tell us, come and face us and let us know what's going on? We're paying, people are paying thousands of dollars for PSLs, more thousands of dollars for season tickets, hundreds of dollars if you're going to a God-blessed game, $40, $50 for parking, tons of money for your goddamn apparel like this shit. And you don't have the respect to come and talk to us when a change like this is made, a historic change is made under your watch? Come on, man. But you want everyone else to be accountable. You want everyone else to be accountable. Emma says, first of all, thank you for checking in, Papa. I appreciate it. George told him to wait. If George told him to wait, you know what he should have said? No, they need to see me now. They haven't heard from me. That if George told him to wait, is that not surprise? Does that not surprise you? Or that's typical Chicago Bears protocol. Man. You know, the sad part about this search is they're going to go after the new young face. Just like all the other teams in Chicago, because they want to be controlled. They want to control these people. Go get the best guy for the job. Go get the best Mickey Ficky head coach you can find. And I don't give a damn. And I would like it to be an offensive guy, but make it a leader of men. Give me a guy who comes in a room and commands the God-blessed room, commands the respect. Like when he steps to the podium, everyone shuts the hell up. Media included. Now, I'd much rather be an offensive guy, and here's why. If you get a defensive guy, I don't care if it's, I shouldn't say I don't care. I just want a leader of men. And if it happens to be a defensive guy, what you're doing is you're opening yourself up to problems. Because if this defensive guy is running this team, say Mike Vrabel, he's the popular one. Ant Moss is his top choice as well. Okay, say Mike Vrabel comes. Okay? Mike Vrabel comes and this team starts playing, starts balling. Caleb starts looking like the number 1 overall pick that everyone and all starts living up to the hype. Well, guess what? That offensive guy's gone. Now you got to get another guy in here. So if you get an offensive guy, make sure he is a leader of men. Now, if this is why you're giving Thomas Brown the shot, okay. Now you're in the right direction, but we'll never know. Thomas Brown, you have a phenomenal opportunity. Don't fuck it up, kid. Because if you get a head coach who's an offensive-minded guy, he's not going anywhere. He's got the job. He's got the quarterback. But he's got to be a leader of men, and Thomas Brown is. Cornelius says, as much as I like Thomas Brown, it'll be hard to pass on a coach who's already done it for one that hasn't. You do realize we're talking about the Bears, right? It won't be hard at all. It won't be hard for them to pass on that at all. Because they like to control their head coaches. You think they're going to want to build Belichick? You think they're going to want someone who can stand up to them? Who's got a resume? No. That's the problem. That's the problem. You think you're the smartest guys in the room, and you're not. Go get someone who's done it before. Like my stupid-ass White Sox. Oh, we don't want Ozzie. We don't want Bruce Bochy. Bruce Bochy said, don't worry, I'll go win a World Series with Texas since you didn't interview me. This is the type of nonsense that's going on at Hallis Hall. You want to get a young, cheap quarterback, a young, cheap head coach, the up-and-coming guy. Now, I'm not saying that the up-and-coming guy can't end up being a stud. I'm not saying that at all. Mike Tomlin was a rookie head coach at one point in his life. Bill Belichick was a rookie head coach at one point of his life. But, man, we're tired of seeing the hot, young, new coordinators get hired and fizzle it out after 2 or 3 years. We're tired of it. Well, listen, we got to take a break. On the other side of the break, we will get into top of the morning topics. I just had to get that stuff off my chest about people keeping my name in their mouth. I don't know why they're all up on my slobbering on my knob. I didn't do nothing. I just gave my opinion, and you don't like it. Too bad. You don't got to shit on somebody else because it's different from yours, or try and demean someone else because they don't agree with you. I had to address that. And like I said, the person that was addressed to, keep it up. You want to keep that up? It's on site. You will be coming to Chicago. But let's not do that. Just don't talk shit about me. Because you forgot, I'm one of those Gen Xers. We ain't sitting talking about this bullshit. We're not gonna. I don't know. It's on site. We're gonna handle it the way we handle it. Don't be disrespectful to people. Hiding behind a computer, thinking no one can. You think I'm one of them little blog boys you talk about who ain't gonna say shit and step to your face? You got the wrong one, son. You got the wrong one. You and your partner. Your snuggle buddy over there. Anyway, Chris, Foulmouth Chris, what's up, Papa? I'll word you up later. All right, let me get to this commercial. Keep it locked right here. Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago.
Move it!
Many will hear the calling. Few will earn the title. United States Marine. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Hey, it's your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra, and be sure to follow Sports Zone Chicago on all social media platforms on Facebook, Instagram, and our Roku channel. You can find us at Sports Zone Chicago, and on Twitter, we are at Sports Zone Shy. Also, be sure to download our mobile app so you can take Sports Zone Chicago with you on the go.
How do you take care of your mind health?
For my mental health, I meditate in the mornings.
I have my dogs. They're the best.
I just find ways that help me just relax.
Finding things that make me happy, like being close to my family.
I meditate a lot and read books.
I have hobbies outside of the game. I'm able to switch off. I'm able to turn my brain off from the game of basketball.
Your mind health matters.
Your mind health matters.
We are looking for a few heroes, mentors, trailblazers, innovators, a passion to change lives, spark curiosity, open hearts, and awaken minds, help students answer the question, who am I? This could be your calling, but this is no job. It's the journey of a lifetime. Be a hero. Be a teacher.
Mental health and learning disorders don't discriminate. 17 million children and adolescents in the United States live with disorders like anxiety, depression, ADHD, and dyslexia. Less than half get the help they need to thrive. Help the Child Mind Institute change these children's lives. Visit childmind.org.
Now they're going to run crossers, people across the field.
3rd and goal blitz. They got him. Goff had no option but to take his losses back at the 18th. Edwards and Dexter both just busted across. The number 1 3rd down defense in the league they're going against here, needing the 13 yards. Williams running for it, and Gallup's about 2 yards shy before Campbell had the angle on him. We just got here, 2nd and 6.
Oh, what a play call.
It's to Gibbs, to the 10. Ball comes out, and it's recovered by Chicago's Dexter. And that's, again, the first fumble lost by the Lions at home in 1 year since last Thanksgiving Day against Green Bay.
Welcome back to Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago. Those clips courtesy of CBS. Those are the boys on Thursday, Thanksgiving Thursday, baby. Yes, it was a rough one. It was a rough one, man. And, yeah. Yeah. That was tough. Yeah. It was tough. Anyway, guys, let's get to it, baby. You know how we do the first segment of every show. It's called Top of the Morning.
It won't come just when you want it.
Top of the morning to you. Top of the morning to you. Top of the morning to you.
The first top of the morning topic. Let's see. Which way do we go? Which way do we go? Which way do we go? Well, all right. Let's keep the conversation going. The Bears on Thursday, baby. Oh, man. On Thanksgiving Day, the Bears, they fall to the Detroit Lions in Motown 23-20. And it was was a tough one. Caleb Williams had a day 20 of 39 for 256 yards, 3 tutties, no picks, with a 97.8 quarterback rating. DJ Moore, 8 catches, 97 yards, a touchdown. Keenan Allen, have a day, young man. Have a day. 5 catches, 73 yards, 1-2 tree. He had 2 touchdowns. Comeback was late. We all saw what happened. We all know what happened. The timeout, of the non-calling of the timeout, the non-running of the play, the changing of the play. And, it's unfortunate. So, because of that situation, the next top of the morning topic, on Friday, the Bears fired Matt Eberflus. The first time in their history that they fired a coach mid-season. There's too many things. And it wasn't, I think the biggest issue, let me take this down for a second. The biggest issue was he lost the locker room. All right, Jay Glazer reported, Adam Johns reported, was the first to report that Jalen Johnson went off after Eberflus gave his old kumbaya speech after the game. And if you heard Jalen Johnson say it on the radio, where he said, you know what, I think he goes, if this was 2022, he goes, we didn't have a team. We had, we weren't built to win, but we got players. We got studs here now. We got ballers now. So he said that on the radio. And he was fired up. He was very adamant, very loud. He was yelling at Coach Eberflus. And according to reports, Coach Eberflus left the meeting at that particular point. It happened. All right. Everything came to a head. And it got ugly. And I'm telling you guys, when we're out there, the last 3 games, when we're out there waiting, more and more players are coming out coming out of the locker room and leaving before the media is given access to enter. Like the last game was in Minnesota. Last home game in Minnesota. Man, it was about half the team is gone. Half the team is gone. So they were tired of his nonsense. They were tired of him falling short. They were tired of his empty promises. They were tired of his hits principles. They were tired of him not being a leader. So because of that, we all know the next top of the morning topic, Thomas Brown. Thomas Brown. What an interesting 3-4 weeks he's had. From passing game coordinator to offensive coordinator to interim head coach. Chicago Bears elevate Thomas Brown from the offensive coordinator position to the head coach position. He'll still be calling plays for the Bears. Now, I don't know. What do you guys think? Because here's I'm kind of torn with this. I see it as a dual-edged sword. In the big picture, I think it's a great thing. In the big picture. But his number one job when he took over for Shane Waldron was the development of Caleb Williams. Okay? The development of Caleb Williams. And we saw the last couple of weeks, Caleb is playing really, 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 really well. Actually, I should have put that up in the... Let me see the picture that I had. No, that was just some third down comparisons. Last 3 games, Caleb has played very, very, very well. All right, hitting a bunch of receivers. I forgot. And he had at least 250 in the last 3 games. Okay? These are top defenses. This is Minnesota's defense. Remember what I said, attack Brian Flores. Brian Flores is going to come at you. Attack him. No interceptions, a couple of tutties. Okay? He's getting better. But here's the thing that bugs me with it is that worked because Thomas Brown was in the box. and you can look down on the field and get a much better view. A bird's eye view is much better. Now he's got to be on the field. So he's going to have eyes up there that he trusts. So is that Kerry Joseph, I would imagine? I mean, who else on the offensive line? The offensive side of the ball is he? Does he trust? So I'm concerned that it's going to take a lot of focus away from Caleb, because now he doesn't worry about only Caleb in the offense. He's focused on the defense. He is to focus on the special teams. He's got to focus on challenges, when to throw them, when to not throw them. He's got to focus on timeouts, when to take them, when not to take them. He's got to focus on, we're going for it on fourth down. We're going to kick. We're not going to kick. We're going to punt. Here's a trick play. He's got to focus on all that, and it has to take something away from his direct relationship with Caleb. It has to. He has to spread himself thin as a head coach. But if he can do it, you got your head coach. If he can do it. So it's one hell of an interview for him. One hell of an audition for him. Man, don't fuck it up, kid. I think you have a phenomenal demeanor. You win press conferences. Players, the way they speak about you shows they have the utmost respect for you. And that would be great. And maybe he could be the next great head coach. Maybe this is a string. Maybe this is our guy. Maybe it is. We don't know. We don't know. Because I'll tell you what, if Caleb continues to progress, it's going to be a long, hard look. Man, hold on, player. If the Bears win a couple of these games, we got 5 games left. They win 3 out of these 5. And don't say, well, they got this. I know they got Green Bay. I know they got Minnesota. I know they got Detroit. They're all one-score games. Green Bay we're about to beat, except for the blocked field goal. Detroit, we were about to beat, except for the let the time run out. Minnesota went to overtime. So we can win 3 games. Hell, we can win all these games. Let's keep it a buck. We can win all these games. But we'll see. Thomas Brown, you have one hell of an audition, my friend. One hell of an audition. See how that plays out. Next top of the morning topic, the Blackhawks, baby. The Blackhawks fall to the Columbus Blue Jackets. Whew, that was a tough one. 6-3. 1-2-3. Mrazek, he stopped 30 of 35 shots. Connor Bedard lit the lamp for the 5th time this season. Finally got off the schneid. Smith, his 6th goal of the year. Captain Nick Foligno, his 7th goal of the year. The assist on the game. Donato, his 5th. Vlasic, his 10th. Taylor Hall, his 5th. Martinez, his 3rd. Teravainen, his 6th. Connor Bedard on a helper, his 14th of the season. No rest for the weary. The Blackhawks, they travel tonight to Toronto to take on the Maple Leafs. Puck drop is at 6:30 p.m. Central Time. Oh, goodness. You can catch that game. You can catch that game on Chicago Sports Network or listen to it on their flagship station, 7:20 a.m. Let's go, boys. Let's go. The next top of the morning topic, the Bulls, baby, the Bulls. They're going to the Brooklyn Zoo. Brooklyn Zoo. For all my old dirty bastard fans. The Bulls, actually, no, they're hosting the Brooklyn Zoo. They host the Brooklyn Nets tonight at the United Center. Tip-off is at 7 p.m. You can catch that game on Chicago Sports Network Plus, because the Blackhawks started earlier and they got Chicago Sports Net at 6:30. The Bulls were on Chicago Sports Network Plus. Or you can listen to that on their flagship station, 6:70 a.m. You know, they're a fun team. And I told you they're going to be fun. It's not necessarily very good. I like this up and down pace that they're using. Vooch is looking so much better. My goodness. My goodness. They're just lapsing in defense at times that really, really hurts them. That really, really leads to their demise. But I like the Julian Phillips. Look, he looked like they just got his ass off the west side. And he's hitting big time threes. Dylan Terry, Mr. looks like a little kid all the time, all happy go lucky. He's knocking down threes. He's knocking balls away, getting his hand in the passing lane, playing some defense, getting some screens. The youngster, the rookie, Matas Bucelis. Dude, you better watch yourself. He's about to flush on your head. This kid's 19 years old, 6'10", and got an attitude about him, and I like it. They're a nice young bunch. Zach, I'm telling you, hold on. I don't know if I want to get rid of Zach right now. I've said, you heard me say that before. I don't know if I want to get rid of Zach right about now. I like the way Zach's playing. I really do. There's one thing about him that bugs me. If your first couple of threes don't go down, go to the hole. Don't keep shooting heat checks. Go to the hole. If your first couple of threes don't go to the hole, dunk on someone, get an and one. All right. Sometimes you just need that to see the ball go in the basket to get you back right. All right. 2 free throws, a layup and one and a free throw. Okay. Sometimes that's all you need. Other than that, Zach's playing defense. Vooch is playing defense. Vooch is blocking shots. Come on, man. What the hell? When the last time we saw Vooch block shots? None. Not since he's been here in Chicago. Energy that the veterans are playing with is indicative of why the youngsters are playing with this type of energy. Because if your stars are playing defense, everybody else on the team has to play defense. And that's all I ever asked. Zach, play defense, because you're a hell of a freaking defensive player when you want to be. When you want to lock a Mickey Ficky down, you lock a Mickey Ficky down. He just chose not to. There's something up there. They're doing something up there that, man, Zach is playing like his hair's on fire. Like Zach, you know what Zach and Vooch are playing like? Zach and Vooch look like they're playing for a roster spot. That's the type of intensity that they're playing with. That's the type of full, complete game that they're playing. They look like they're playing for a roster spot. And I like it. I like it a lot. Next topic, the college football playoffs took a big hit. The college football playoffs standings come out tomorrow. However, the AP top 25 came out. And man, oh man, there was a shakeup in the top 25 due to some upsets over rivalry weekend. Woo-hoo-hoo. So the top 5, Oregon, Texas, Penn State, Notre Dame. Goes from 5 to 4. And Georgia is number 5. And listen, I would assume, I know you don't want to make an assumption because you make an ass out of you and Umption. But if it stays this way, which I assume it's going to, there's a couple more championships. The Big Ten championship is this weekend. Georgia and Texas in the SEC. That could be a Penn State, Oregon. There's some big games, baby. The conference championships are nice. But it looks Notre Dame will not drop out of the top 4. They hit the top 4, which means they will have a first-round bye in the college football playoffs. Like I said, number 1 and 3, Oregon and Penn State play. Oregon and Penn State play this weekend. Number 2, Texas versus number 5, Georgia. Like I said, Notre Dame they're just waiting. They're in. There still could be some things going crazy. Georgia could jump up. So if Georgia beats Texas, does Texas fall out of the top 4? I don't know. Alabama, they're going to get a bowl game. They're 9-3. When's the last time you saw Alabama with a 3-loss season? What the hell is that all about? NIL, baby. NIL. NIL. Yeah, I hear you, Marshawn. Hit the road, Jack. I hear you. Again, there's still the human element to it. He seems like a nice person. He's just a bad head coach. And Mosh, you and me both, Papa. He's like 100%, Chris. He's like, I was saying preseason 10 wins. Me too. Me too. 10 wins. That's what I said. They said they might even get 11 or 12. Remember, I said 7-2 after those first 9 games, split the last 8, 4-4. You win those games you should have in the beginning. You come out 7-2. Man, you lost to Green Bay on a blocked field goal. OT with Minnesota. Time ran out as you could have kicked a field goal to tie it with Detroit. You're there. We are there. I know our record sucks, but we're there. Steve-O said, remember I said they would have 6 wins. Well, even you were wrong. They only have 4. We're both wrong. And you know what? Because of rivalry weekend, there was some craziness going on. The next top of the morning topic. There are about 8 brawls after the games this weekend, mostly due to people trying to attempt to plant the flag of their school in the home team's stadium. Check this.
That's what we are. That's what Michigan does, man. And that's what we do first of all. Stop this.
And folks, something interesting is going on the field right now. Michigan tried to plant their flag in the middle of the Ohio State field, and the Buckeyes rushed right to them. And now there's some skirmishes going on the field. An unsportsmanlike gesture by the Wolverines. Unnecessary. They've won the game. No need to be disrespectful.
Someone probably just needs to grab that flag, or else this is going to continue to get nasty. Plus, you just hate to see this. What a incredible
Michigan
game.
won the game. They didn't need to plant the flag in the middle of the O.
I mean, that's always
disrespectful.
It is, but it's always part of it. Baker Mayfield did it in this stadium, and
it doesn't say it's right. You know what I'm saying.
I get it, and at the same time, I tell you what, this is a great rivalry. It's a great American rivalry, and it's ugly the way that this has ended.
So what about you guys? You think it's okay? Do you think it's okay? You know, does the NCAA have to step in and say your school's going to be fine if you do that? You know, man, Scuba Steve in the back says suspend them all. But that's shit talking. That's part of the gamesmanship. And my thing is this: if you don't want to plant your flag, beat them at home. If you don't want the visiting team planting your flag, beat them at home. You should have beat the hell out of them. Ohio State should have beat the dog snot out of Michigan, but they didn't. There's a lot of shit talking during the week on social media, in chat rooms. Okay? A lot of shit talking. Back it up. Shorty, you're a fool. I wish the Bears did that with the Packers. Oh, wait. we can't beat the Packers.
Hey, Shawn, the reason I said suspend them all is because I want to see the national championship fought for by Indiana versus Army.
The most watched national championship game in the history of national championship games. Army and Indiana. Who's got more guns, the Army or the people from Indiana? Chris said they're gonna step in now. Too many fights. Before there wasn't fights like that. No, I agree. I think the NCAA will step in. Now, here's another question before we welcome Ken on. We're waiting for my guy Ken. Do you think it was okay? So they had the state troopers in there. They had the state troopers in there breaking it up, and they were using tear gas. Is that okay? Do you think that's okay, or is that gone too far? What do you guys think? Because I think it's this. My thought is this. Have you ever tried to break up a fight? Have you ever tried to break up a fight? Okay. If you have, you know how difficult it could be to break up a fight. Right? Have you ever had to break up a fight of 40, 50 guys, ultra elite athletes who are big and strong and powerful and explosive as ever? I don't know. I don't know what the right thing is. Some people are mad because they're using tear gas. I mean, what do you want guys to do? I mean, they're not going to stop the cops aren't going to stop them. I mean, these guys are squatting 600 pounds, they're benching 500 pounds, they're hand cleaning 400 pounds. You think a fat, out of shape, dad bod cop is going to stop them? Here, stop, son, stop. No. I don't know. Simple solution. When you're at home, win. When you're a huge favorite and your rival is unranked, you mop the floor with those jokers. Jim Harbaugh's gone. You mop the floor with them jokers. You start fast and finish fast. In these rivalry games, I'd be like, look, it's not my job to stop me from scoring, it's yours. Ohio State didn't want it bad enough. They didn't come out with that type of They didn't come out with that type of energy, desire. They didn't want it. Did let Michigan hang around? Michigan came out. Michigan was fired up by the coach. All right. Well, listen, let's take a quick break. On the other side of the break, we're gonna welcome my mans and them. You know who it is. My man Ken Davis. So don't go anywhere, folks. Keep it locked right here. Quick timeout. Right here on Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago.
Hey, it's your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra, and be sure to follow Sports Zone Chicago on all social media platforms on Facebook, Instagram, and our Roku channel. You can find us at Sports Zone Chicago, and on Twitter, we are at Sports Zone Shy. Also, be sure to download our mobile app so you can take Sports Zone Chicago with you on the go.
Time out. How are you feeling right now? Happy? Excited? Angry? Overwhelmed? One of the best things you can do for your mind health is to name what you're feeling. It can sharpen your awareness and help you talk about your feelings with someone you trust. Here are 3 questions to ask yourself. Where are your thoughts right now? In the past, the present, the future? Do you notice any sensations in your body? Is your heart beating fast? Is there a flutter in your stomach? Or are you fully relaxed? What do you need right now? Time with others? Time to yourself? Remember, there's power in this awareness. So find ways to identify what you're feeling today.
Hi, guys. Hey. Hi, Megan. Hey, Jessica.
Megan, you're a tramp. Brian Fitch told me you guys made out. Everybody knows. He said your breath smells like garbage. And he almost puked. He says you're the most desperate girl he knows, besides your mom. How many boyfriends does she have anyway? Lots? Your makeup makes you look like a clown. That zit is huge, zit face. Ugly.
On the mark to Komet. Interception. 2nd and 10. In trouble. Able to run away from the heat. And dumps it off to Moore. Nice play there. That's what you saw a lot from Caleb Williams. Here's Williams. Going for the big ball. Going for the big shot. And he hits it. Moore with the touchdown haul. Well, he faces a big moment here. 3rd and 2. They go with Montgomery, and look at the Bears block his path. Williams connects. They've got the first. DJ Moore.
Welcome back to Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago. Those clips courtesy of CBS. Those are our boys, baby. On Thursday, Turkey Thursday, just couldn't get it done. Man, that was a frustrating one. It was there. Whew. Anyway, man, I'm excited to have my next guest. I want to hear his take on this whole thing. Let's welcome back my mans and them. The one you find on Twitter at That's Davis, my man Ken Davis. What's up, man? How you doing, big dog?
What's going on, man? What's going on, everybody, man? How y'all doing on this side, man? What's going on, Shawn?
Man, House Music Monday, baby. Yay, yay.
What's up, Patty? Oh, Shorty. If it's you say what? Yeah.
I see it.
Oh yeah. I had to throw out. I wanted to switch it. This is, I get to do a little me. And this has been Ken's time the last couple of months. So I've been enjoying myself, taking a break from Chicago sports shenanigans. So it's been a nice, relaxed, and chill time. I feel bad because I look at the comments and people. I don't know if it was Shorty. If it's not this Thursday, next Thursday, I'm just starting to get back into doing the sports talk because I don't really feel like getting angry over this type of stuff, Shawn. Like, you know me. Like, my thing is, dude, if I can't control it, usually I separate myself from it. All right, Just being full disclosure. If I can't control something, I don't usually keep it in my life. I move away from it. I'm not the type of person that likes drama to be around. And this, unfortunately, is drama that could have been avoided. Last time I was on here about a month ago, if not 3 weeks ago, and it was funny because I did a couple of shows that week, and I hadn't done any shows since, I don't believe. But the thing being was, it's early. And we were already out, and the discussion was on Matt Eberflus as the head coach. And I mean, I'm basically preaching to the choir, except for people that were over exuberant about him being a really good defensive coordinator. He shouldn't have been maintained as the head coach. I like Ryan Poles to a degree, but to me, and again, I don't know. Let me say this too. I don't know the power structure within, and then I'm not even going with Warren. I'm not even saying that. I'm just saying with ownership and maybe Warren is including with this, but what you're allowed to do and not do. And that comes to firing a coach that has years added onto his contract that you guys put onto his contract. So we're going to have to eat those years and pay another coach. I don't know when you're given that leeway. But to me, common sense was you were reshuffling the deck. Even it's funny, even coming on here, I was thinking about, the great civil war between Justin or whoever the first pick, Caleb, we assumed it would be. And regardless of what side you stood on, my major point was, regardless of what ceiling you thought, new contract was really the biggest thing. And I don't even mean that just for Caleb. I meant it for Justin, because Justin was never going to get a fair chance here in Chicago. If they had the same shit going on this year and he was here, the people that was already out would be even worse as far as already out, and he didn't deserve to have to go through that. And the reason I'm bringing all this past history up is you were distancing yourself from all of that. Why didn't you just do the same thing with the head coach? Because we're doing the same thing, the same Chicago tango. And I'm sure other cities who aren't proficient in winning or contending, let me not say winning, contending for championships, this happens often too, where people don't learn from past mistakes. And that mistake is, if you're going to bring in a new coach, a new player that's important to your franchise, what's the reason to retain a coach, particularly a coach that hasn't built enough equity? I get if we're talking about Tom Thibodeau being here. This doesn't have to be the best Chicago coaches. I'm just going to run down some good. I get if we're saying Lovey was here and you were bringing in a new quarterback. The same with like Thibs and you were bringing in a new player. Same for someone of Joe Madden, even though Joe Madden won a World Series. But you get the point that I'm trying to. Someone who's built up enough where you're like, you know what? There's a chance you may be able to do something. I think this is a problem with a lot of us, is always hope springs eternal. That's kind of the antidote that we use to make ourselves feel better about perhaps next year, perhaps things will turn around. And sometimes you just have to be fucking honest, where it's like, yo, the same thing that I think most people in this chat group are, I would presume, 30s, 40s, 50s. All right. At this point in life, you kind of know who you're dealing with and who you don't need to deal with is best and most productive for you. And I mean that in friendships, relationships, so on and so forth, and business. You've had times now in work and business to know who works with you, who doesn't, and how to negate anything like that. And that's the only thing I think that we're really asking from the people that are in charge of making decisions with these franchises. This is stupid, just to be honest with you. You can see it a mile away. You can see it a mile away. You could see, all the rumblings. The players have been out. Some players have been out on Matt Eberflus. This stuff now, of course, because that's what always happens when shit hits the fans. Now the stories are coming out. Mm-hmm. But anybody that's talked to anybody knows that last year players were like, he doesn't know what the hell he's doing. And it didn't take players to tell you. We know he can call a good defense. But as far as running a damn team, he's always been out on being a good CEO of a team, particularly when he's the person that emphasized being a great CEO. Nobody asked him. Well, I'm sure he was asked the question, how much time are you going to delegate to being on the offensive side, the defensive side? But he made it a point to say how often he was going to be in the quarterback room. He made it a point to say, even though I'm a defensive coach, I'm overseeing all of this. All right. And for him to escape last year and everyone to act like it was all on Getsy when you still have the final call on whatever the hell Luke Getsy does. It's your call. You can say, hell no, what the fuck are you doing? Like, it's your call. Like, that's anybody that's a higher up. Once you see someone's incompetent, are you going to keep letting them mess your stuff up? Or are you going to be like, hold on, listen, do it like I told you to do it, or I'm going to come over there and do it for you. So for all that incompetence, all the head scratching, usually when you're talking about defensive coordinators, it's going to be a problem when you're talking about play clock management and things of that nature. But and also accountability. I know, like the last 4 weeks, he's been a lot more accountable inside of the building. But prior to that, it was everything in the mama.
Everything in the mama was his fault at that particular point. Mm-hmm. Oh, we got there's a little cold in the building. Yeah, that's my fault. That's not me. Like, dude, come on. You wouldn't take accountability at all. Then anything that couldn't go wrong, it was cloudy today. Oh, I'm sorry, that's my fault. There was traffic coming up the house. Oh, I'm sorry, that's my fault. That starts with me. Like, dude, enough of the overcorrection type shit. You know what I mean? It was funny. Like, stop. Like, it was comical. Like, it was comical. Dude, everything is his fault.
That part right there, and that's where it got. And I know a lot of us gonna be like, screw him, but it got sad. You knew he was out, basically, right? You knew he was out. He was a dead man walking, and you were watching it. And the question was, were they going to leave him 5 to 6 more games as prior to this game here for him to be taken out? Or are they going to do what was probably best for morale and get him out and find out one kind of what they may have in the building, but really just to save morale? Because, I mean, players know. You know if someone's – everybody – it doesn't have to be players. I said this the last time I was on here. You know when somebody is working at your job and doesn't seem to know what the hell to know, to want to, but help your job be proficient in what they're trying to do. So I see Shorty. The funny thing is this too, and I'm sorry for me freezing. I was a tad late. I got a new computer, so this issue would be remedied. And I was trying to get it going, Shawn. I apologize I didn't do it earlier. So that my lag will stop as I return to ranting in the near future. It's funny because Shorty says fire the McCaskies, which of course, but it's one of those things like in my friend chat group, and like one of my buddies is like, man, this is never gonna change until and it's just like, we all know that, but they're not selling. So it's just one of those things where it's like you got to deal with this dysfunctional relationship if you're gonna stay within it. I don't think they're as bad as what they've been in the past, to be honest with you. And I'm not trying to scapegoat them. I still don't think they have the proper connections within the NFL to necessarily know what to do and what not to do. And there's always this thing here, and some teams have done better, where let's go cheaper and get someone that hasn't done anything. And I think ownership that is falling on their face time after time again, you have to give up power and let someone who's done it before come in, successfully done it before, come in and run your program, and stop trying to hope you find the next lightning in the bottle. That goes from even Ryan Poles on to Matt Eberflus. And I think Poles is doing a much better job as general manager than Eberflus ever did as a head coach. But still, when you and this is something that we said a couple years ago on the UC. You have the blind leading the blind, because it's one thing to have a rookie general manager, which they did in Ryan Pace, and they brought in Fox. But at least you have Fox that kind of knew some things. I know that the power dynamic with them wasn't necessarily always straight, but you can't have two people learning on the job in such critical positions that haven't had that job before. You're really shooting yourself in the foot. Not saying that sometimes you may not be able to catch lightning in a bottle, but for the most part, it's going to be pretty difficult for you to catch lightning in the bottle in that issue. And it came back to haunt them again. And the crazy thing in this, and I'll let you go, Shawn, was, and in all fairness with Poles, it was the same thing with Fox. Well, they basically selected him for you. Speaking of Matt Eberflus, they interviewed him prior to you. Like, this was the guy they were leaning towards bringing in. After last year, you would have had at least 2 more chances probably to pick a head coach after last season. But for you doubling down on someone who had shown incompetence, regardless of them going on a winning streak against subpar teams with the mess that he helped create alongside with you, you doubled down, and now you've put yourself, I won't say on the chopping block, but you've taken power away from yourself, since you've had someone else has been hired above you that wasn't above you prior to you taking on that position. And sometimes you got to, again, I'm not a really look out for yourself person. I really try to be, I'm really a team person. But when someone, and it's unfortunate, when someone is fucking up to the point where you know down the line they're going to get fired, you can only help them so much. And that's just the truth, really. You could tell them like, hey, first you kind of hint to them like, man, you need to start doing this. Then you tell them, hey, yo, it could get like that. And then if they don't really improve, you just listen to them complain about it because
then you back off.
Hey, I hear you.
I done did told you.
Right. It's like, man, it ain't fair. It's like this. I told you what the deal was. It's either step up your game or get ready for the axe to fall on you. And it fell on Matt Eberflus, justifiably so. It was time. I mean, and the thing is too, and again, I had the Bears record. I had the Bears over 500 this year. But one of the things, and I said to you, was the backside of the schedule is going to smack their ass, right? And the front side of the schedule smacked that ass. You know what I'm saying?
And the first couple games on the backside wasn't as bad as we thought.
You're right, but it comes down to, and you can't fix everything, but it comes down to most of the things that we've already known. You know what I'm saying? And that falls on management as far as some of the blinders that they have when they're bringing in players, pro personnel, and throughout the draft. And that has to either be corrected or you have to move on from them. But again, to me, I think the biggest problem is the two-step double offense learning that we always do here. It's always, hey, come in, kid, learn this offense. And guess what? Second year, you and everybody else is going to have to learn an offense again. And you would think to some point we would just say, you know what, man, let's just clear the fucking deck. You know what I'm saying? Like that's where
quarterback,
just
head
start
coach,
first year. Again, particularly if someone hasn't shown you enough. I can understand. Now, I'll say this. Had they went to the playoffs last year, or hey, let's just say last game of the season, they're fighting to get into the playoffs, I'd have been a lot more willing to be like, you know what, Flus first year they was tearing it down. They wasn't even rebuilding; they was tearing it down.
Yeah.
Last year there was more talent you brought in. This year they brought in players. This year I would have been a lot more willing. But when you're saying that there was slippage last year, and he only fixed it because his defensive coordinator got sacked or resigned, whichever way you want to take it that way or whatever. Because we still have to think about if defensive coordinator has the job, the defense may have never straightened it out. Like that again falls on him. Like if you remember that part, right? The guy working under you that you brought along with you from your last job who hadn't done what you clearly knew what to do with the defense, right? And you were letting him fuck the defense up, basically, trying to find himself. The same thing I was saying about Poles goes down to you with the people that you delegate power to. So that's where, to me, it's just kind of like, whatever. I'm sorry. Like, it's just like, man, I can't. How upset am I going to get when I know she cheat? As you know, Shawn, I like to use relationship analogies. I know she for the streets, right? And I'm like, man, I just wish
J-Lo.
she would stop. Right. I just wish she would stop doing me like that. When it's just like, dog, leave her alone. Like, I know that this is what this organization does. I still think they have made improvements over the last 15 years. One, they were too cheap. They're not cheap like they were in the past. You know, there's some organizations that win that I would say are cheaper than what the Bears are. Problem with the Bears is delegating their funds properly.
Allocating resources.
Like that's the real problem. Yeah, that's where they at now, because they'll spend the money, but where are you properly spending it? And are you doing it on players who aren't just punching clocks and who really want to be in the building? You know, and I'll say this too, and I'm never going to say you should just be clocking in and clocking out, even though, hey, they do pay you just to clock in and clock out. But at one point, when you know the ship isn't going that way, you start tuning it out. And you know what I'm saying? I'm saying the good players. I'm not talking about like Nate Davis. I'm talking about the players that are really plugged in. You start tuning it out because, dog, you see the shit's not going right. You see he doesn't know what he's doing. You see that game after game, the same issues are taking place with the people that are supposed to be instructing you on how to improve your play, and they can't even improve they can't even improve the detail that they apply to the things that they're supposed to do game to game. So it was inevitable, you know. I mean, and I don't know. I don't really be honest, Shawn. Let me know. How should I feel, Shawn? Tell me how I should feel.
It's you know what? It wasn't the same thing every week, and that's the crazy part. It was something different. He found another creative way to lose. It was like you thought it was, and I you know I did the thing on the post game wrap up last week at Minnesota, or when they played Minnesota, And that was the thing. Like, they found another way to lose. Like, you know, there's got to come a point in time. There's got to come a point in time, and that you got to cut bait. End of story. And allegedly, from what we're hearing, Ryan Poles wanted to do it after the New England game. All right, but management wouldn't let him. That goes to show you. That goes to show you right there who's running shit. That goes because that's his job. That's your job. Hire and fire the coach. That's your job. And they won't let you? Excuse me. Can I do this? Can I do no? Then what the hell? What is your job? Why are you even hired? Why are you even in that position if you have to go ask mommy and daddy for permission to do your job? It's frustrating, bro.
Can I play devil's advocate? Can I play devil's advocate with that though?
Yeah.
I'll say this much. I agree with you to a point. I think when you're talking about eating 2 more years of a contract, you do have to go talk to ownership about eating that contract. You know what I'm saying? So I would say, has this conversation, and I would hope it had, come up earlier.
Prior.
And did you then find out how much leeway you had in what you had to do? Because at that point, you're supposed to ask them, listen, are you okay with eating up 2 years of, because you're going to bring in a new coach, you're going to eat up 2 years of this guy's contract. Is that fine with you at any point when I decide to move off of him? And so I'll say this, if Ryan Poles hesitated in asking that, that's partially on him if he hadn't gained any clarity on, is it okay if we eat this money because you're going to be the people paying for it? But to your point, why do you have me here if this guy, because then I have no power. And, you know, and that's where, and particularly, but then it goes to this. And I think Ryan Poles is a confident person. How confident you in your abilities that regardless of here, meaning the Chicago Bears organization, or any place else, you will find success. Now, if you lose a job here, you may not get a job to be a general manager right away. You may have to go back and be a personnel person. But are you confident, like, yo, I'm that motherfucker regardless, so I'm going to get back on top? Because I think that's the difference, and this could apply to me. I think that's the difference sometime in, hey, I ain't taking none of this. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like, dude, I will have fine. These doors will always stay open regardless if I have to kick them down. And does Ryan Poles have that confidence to a degree? Because he also may want to finish what he's done and felt like he's moving this in a proper way. I don't want to leave this because I still feel like this organization is heading close to the direction I want. I just need a new head coach to visualize and to implement what I need done on the field. So these are just, again, because we're not them. We're not him. We're not ownership. And even if we may have sources, you still don't know exactly what a person is thinking. Yeah. And even when people are talking to sources, people have an angle that they're trying to push when they're doing that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was having a conversation with my son. I was having a conversation with my son yesterday, and he was talking about one of his close friends who sometimes is mentally not always there. He's a good young man or whatever, but he was saying that, you know, I saw he was doing this and I really didn't like it or whatever. And so, like, some time later, I was talking to him, and I asked him about another friend. He was like, yeah, he kind of feels like that. He was out on them early. And I said, hold up. You still hang out with this person. And regardless of if you aren't feeling them at this point, you never go into bashing them and going along with the narrative. You stay out of that. And that's the point what I'm trying to say when we're talking about different agendas, where then you start leading with an agenda or going along with an agenda. And that's the thing that you have to be cognizant. We all have to, because if I tell you, Shawn, you know, so-and-so is talking shit about you or whatever, and then I come over here and now I'm talking to you, dissing them. Now that's an agenda basically, where I can tell you, hey, this person is saying this, but also stay the fuck up out of it. You know what I'm saying? And I think sometimes when we're talking about sources and things, you still have to think about what is the person who's talking to that source trying to get across, and why are they trying to get that across?
Guys, we're joined by Ken Davis, former host of the Undercenter podcast and host of That Davis Show, talking Bears football here on Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago. Yeah, dude, there's a lot of people with agendas, and but you know, I was the end of the game. All right, I had a tweet out, and because I was pissed, and I was like, "This shit's on Caleb." And then people came after me. They're like, "Oh, it's on the coach, on the coach." And then I was like, you know what? No, it's shared blame. It's shared blame. And people still came at me. And I'm like, no, like, and they're like, he's a rookie quarterback. I said, wait, time out. I said, it's shared blame. I said, I said 75 to 80% of this is on Flus. 20 to 25% is on Caleb. Okay. I'm like, he's played quarterback long enough to know it's situation. You play quarterback long enough to know you shouldn't be changing the play with 16 seconds to go when the ball gets snapped at 5. All right. In trying to be a hero at that particular point. I'm like, and my thought, give me your thought on the whole situation. Like I said, I think it was 75 to 80% Flus because you got to protect your young quarterback. But at some point, this guy should have said, hey, time's running down. And then he said, I heard the words that were coming out of his mouth. He said, I had to change the play. I changed the play. Why are you doing that with 16 seconds? And then he double talked when he said, well, we didn't have, I didn't know if we'd have enough time to run another play and stop the clock. Yeah, you did. You had a timeout. You didn't call it. Give me your thoughts on the way it ended.
So both of them. I don't understand. This is a thing that I think is an issue, and we all fall subject to it. You can like somebody and not believe everything they do is correct. And I mentioned earlier the Civil War, and just because you decided who you prefer doesn't mean you have to cape for them at every turn to justify why it went this way or that way. As you pointed out, he's been a efficient, highfalutin quarterback since high school. All right. Like, he knows in certain situations and as time goes on what you can and can't do. That's just regardless. And again, yes, he is a rookie, but he's still someone that's played at a lower level. That's one of the highest level. It's the second highest level in the world, where you know with that much time on the clock what you can do and what you can't do. So I'm not going to be like it's all on Flus. Particularly if I'm sitting here and I've caped for Caleb and I've said, well, Caleb is this and Caleb is that, then that Caleb should know what he's doing too. Like, it's just there's nothing wrong with stating what seems to be accurate. Because again, we're not there, but I think you stated what seems to be accurate. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with, hey, he should have done that. Listen, the snake stinks at the head, but the belly, it's a little funky at that point too. There's nothing wrong with pointing that out. You know what I'm saying? That, yeah, I know the head coach needs to be fired, but hey, there are situational moments that the young rookie quarterback has to improve in. There's nothing wrong in that. And so we could get into the minutia and start talking about development and are they developing him to do that? But also you still have to look at pedigree. And from his pedigree, there are some things he should know. I can't sit here and have been in on Caleb and be like, well, nothing's on Caleb. No, it doesn't work like that. You can't have it
He's
both
a rookie
ways.
quarterback.
You know
It only goes so far. Every time he doesn't do this or something happens, well, he's a rookie quarterback. Every time he's a rookie quarterback. I hear you, and I get it, and I'm willing to give leeway if this guy wasn't generational, if he wasn't the best prospect to ever come out of college. I'm like, come on now, you know what I mean? Like all the hype that people who that people
40 interceptions his first
28 his first year 28. Yeah, it was not good.
So,
but he didn't have DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, and Cole Kmet.
He had Marshall Faulk.
And how many times you could throw a swing pass?
Oh, and wait, when did Marvin Harrison get there? Was Marvin Harrison there the year before or after?
He might have been after. Let me double check.
Okay, just making sure. The cupboards weren't totally like he had the motor for the greatest show on turf in the back, and he was younger. All right, so just pointing that out. But regardless, point being is this: I'll say this too to Cape for Caleb. Who's teaching him? Like all the stuff we heard about Shane Waldron being scared to confront men. You know what I'm saying? Like, again, and this is the point,
scared?
Dude. Yeah, because you're supposed to have. Listen, Shane Waldron, I try to be a nice person. Sometimes it doesn't. You got to be like, hey, it doesn't matter if they think I'm nice or not. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully, they know in general I'm a good person. But sometimes when we dealing with stuff, your feelings can't be. You know what? I've never, and I plan on going back and watching Snowfall. But it's that Snowfall clip when they're in the car and dude is talking to him and he like, I don't like the way he be talking to me like he running stuff. He run Compton. That's his over there at Compton. You go brick by brick. That's the thing where it's like, dude, at some point you got to shoot straight. You know what I'm saying? Like you do, because we all may get fired in this piece. First of all, coaches are gonna go first anyway. So you got to shoot. So one, you bring in an offensive coordinator, and this is one thing I would really. It's one thing I think I'm going to try to spend the next couple months learning. I want to know a lot more about the hiring process from Shane Waldron, right? Just to get a better idea of agendas. Because, of course, no one knew he was going to be open because initially we didn't think Pete Carroll was going to get fired, right?
Right.
Didn't seem like the dumbest move you can make. I know there are people out there that wanted nothing to do with Shane Waldron. Congratulations, you were right. All right. Didn't seem like, because we always talk about people that had never done a job. I just said it here. I just said it. So, but I would want to know the insight that Flus had with people that can't take my job. Like, it's one of those things that, like Lovey was after like Ron Rivera, Lovey was really never going to bring in somebody outside of Mike Martz, because Mike Martz was never going to be able to steal his job. That was going to be a threat if they had a lean year where they'd be like, you know what, so-and-so is either potentially a great head coach or his head coach. Lovey kept that where it's like, yeah, I'm not even going to get snaked from the back. And that's the angle that I wonder with this hiring. How much was this posed like this is him? And how much is with Flus was like, I don't think that if things aren't popping this year, they're going to fire me to put this guy in this spot. Regardless, it's been a shit show.
Don't forget, Ken. Don't forget, go ahead. They're all Trace Armstrong people. That had a huge, Trace
great point.
Stretch Armstrong, man.
Which it's always weird. Why would you listen? This is the thing too. Trace Armstrong, I loved his fade. He was one of the initial white guys with a nice fade back in the 90s, where it was like, he started playing it was like, that's a decent little fade he got on him. It worked. It were like white guys weren't rocking fades back when Trace was rocking that fade, right? But for Trace Armstrong to become his post-player career, right, this great agent, so well that allegedly the Bears offered him the job. He like, man, I'm not gonna get locked into doing that with y'all. I'm out here moving. I'm swinging deals out here, right? But my point being, even with him having connections, his connections don't always have to be with people that he's making money off of. Like a true friend it doesn't have to be a friend. This is business. A confidant, right? An associate. Doesn't have to always connect you with someone where financially it's going to benefit them. Someone looking out sometimes will be like, yeah, I do know so-and-so and I got him, but you may need to go with this person too. Now, listen, for all I know, maybe Trace Armstrong did do that and they're just too gullible and are just like, it's just easier because it's easier negotiating with you. Dog, whatever. Get over that. You know what I'm saying? That's like the White Sox with, what's his name? I forget the agent that they always have the problem with. Scott Boras, where it's like, man, Scott Boras' agent is going to be a hard time. And it's just like, listen, either Scott Boras is going to ask for the moon and we're not going to pay him, or we're going to reach a happy medium because we can do business with anybody. Like, that's the way that you have to move. But your point being that you have to have everyone come through Trace Armstrong is ridiculous. Like that, to say that everybody that Trace Armstrong represents is great would be foolish, to say the least, and that there's no one else that's qualified outside of the reach of Trace Armstrong is stupid. And you have made too many dumb decisions consistently. And the crazy thing is, you've made them through usually over depending on one person to help you reorganize your organization. That alone, and how many times we ask, like, man, they need more connections throughout the league. They need to know more people, so they need to kind of know what the temperature is and what the vibe is and the way the league is moving. Again, to me, that I don't know, but that's really something that I'm really, truly interested in and kind of finding out. Teach a man how to squabble. Yeah, I was thinking about that earlier. I love that line. Teach a man how to squabble. That Jerry curl he had was me.
So where do we go from here? I mean, Thomas Brown is the new interim head coach. Everyone's like, he looks like an offensive Mike Tomlin. Okay, so give me your thoughts on him. I like him. I like his presence at the podium. The players speak highly of him. McVay speaks highly of him. And I mean, you got people. I mean, the amount of respect that this guy has is light years ahead of any type of respect that the players had for Eberflus. Talk to me about about your thought on Thomas Brown. We've seen Caleb's numbers go up the last 3 weeks. Your thoughts on him being the interim head coach and having to come down from the box now, where he's got a lot more on his plate. He ain't just a OC. He's not just in charge of developing Caleb. He's in charge of the defense, the special teams, the challenges, the flags, the timeouts, going for it on 3rd and 4th down. Your thoughts on Thomas Brown?
That's a lot. That's you asking this man to do yeoman's work when you're talking about you threw the offense onto him, and then everything that Shawn just mentioned a second ago. That where you like, okay, he's been an offensive court. He's been offensive minded in the past, and we know that he was a pass game coordinator. And now, again, I mean, he still knows football when we're talking about defense, but that's not his side of the ball. I think, to be honest with you, I would want to know how he feels, because at one point it's like, dog, this is an opportunity of a lifetime. Yep. But the second part, you didn't even get established in the new position that you just had. Yeah. So it's like now where he could have been making a long strip, landing field for offensive coordinator jobs within the NFL moving forward, let alone this offensive coordinator job, depending on who the head coach may be in the future. Now you bumped him up to what, to me, if I'm being fair and honest, you can't, and it's not fair to him. If he wins let's just say he wins every game for the remainder of this year, and these are good games against good teams, you still can't allow him to be the head coach next year. And this is my opinion. Why because to me, you do the same thing that you've done in the past, where you have an interim coach that may get hot, and then you extend him and you put yourself in the same position because you're still going through the growing pain with that coach. And I hate to say this, particularly that he's I hate to say that, because if I'm being honest with the problems that they've had in the past, this will fall in line. Like, that's asking a lot, and we still really wouldn't know. That, to answer your question, Shawn, we really, in a way, and with the small sample size, even if he does well, wouldn't truly know what his off-season programs will be like. These would be for the first. Like, it's so much unknown involved into it that then we're spending another 1.5 to 2 years letting him find himself as a head coach. And for me, then it totally negates what the hell the whole thing we were talking last offseason was. The window. Like, so for me, and again, this is Kenneth Davis, in my opinion. If he gets the job, I'm going to cheer for him and root for him. But then I'll say this too. How does this, let's just hypothetically say the Bears would like to keep him, but then it falls on whoever they hire. How does he feel about taking a step back? Now, it may not be an issue because he may feel like, you know what, HC, I'm not even ready for HC right now. But you still then have a guy in the building, which could be a plus, but there's going to be a minus, that one has done it so he can help, but also he's done it in case you got to get rid of this cat. And it's like, yeah, we got an interim already. Don't feel like, that runway is long for you, because we got an interim. We've seen that he can kind of do it or whatever. But see, Shawn, that's what I'm still talking about is they create problems that's not necessary in a way. You know what I'm saying? Like that. And I don't know what you would have done. I know what I would have done. Someone on staff would have been a prior head coach this season. And I think I said that on here in the past. There's no way, regardless of if I want Eberflus to succeed, that I can go in this season with no one who's ever been a head coach, because this guy's been close to getting his ass fired already. Like, I don't believe you're doing your due diligence, allowing that, you know what, if we fire him, we up Schitt's Creek when it comes to experience as a head coach. I don't think they did their Ryan Poles and Kevin Warren did their due diligence with that. Not particularly Ryan Poles. I would have insulated myself from ending up in a situation where now everyone's all hands on deck again, where, Eric Washington hasn't de-coordinated in 5-6 years, you know what I'm saying? And you're doing this with Thomas Brown. Like, you have to forecast that these things may happen, so that one, those two guys could have stayed in their position, and you could have just had old Humpty Dumpty. Let's hypothetically just using this as an example. Let's just say you had Chuck Pagano on the staff. He could have been an advisor / I kind of do things on the defense. But the thing is, he could have come in and let those guys still run the offense and defense, and I can run the CEO part of this or whatever, and that's probably would have been a way that I wouldn't have mattered. But to get back to your initial question on Thomas Brown, I think there's a lot of potential within him. But like, for instance, just like where people was kind of like, man, we should hold on to Flus because he's a good defensive coordinator. That's not what we're asking him to do as head coach. So like, that's where I can't sit here and be like, yo, forget Flus because, you know, he did that well, but that's not what the job title entails. But then with Thomas Brown, and it's not fair to Thomas Brown, it's extremely unfair to him that I'm not holding that same degree where it's like, yo, those are two different job titles. And he technically, I guess he can still prove that he's a up-and-coming offensive coordinator. But then it's also going to be the question on, well, how much of the defense did he run? It's just, to me, I won't say he's in a lose-lose situation because it's an opportunity that he may have not have gotten. So it can't be a lose-lose situation. But I think he's behind the 8 ball. You know what I'm saying? And I think that it hinders him because running how I'm talking about running the business, I wouldn't go to him. That's how I should put it. I wouldn't, and I would hate the fact that I wouldn't. I'll be honest with you. I'll be like, damn, it's messed up. I can't do this with bro. But it's like, yo, I got to make sure that there's no question. There can't be, you know, that's why also when we're talking about a head coach, I have a dilemma, Shawn, because now are we talking someone who's never been a head coach in the past? Because then we're talking about learning how to operate with grown men, you know, through ups and downs on this roller coaster and earning their respect compared to someone who's done it before. Are we talking about someone who's done it on the college level that hasn't done it on the pro level? Like, there's so much that goes into it that, it's hard. I do have a couple of people I wouldn't mind, but it's definitely hard looking at. All right. Let's just get to people that have already had anything to do with your quarterback because people are leaning that way. I wouldn't prefer Lincoln Riley to come to Chicago. Let me start off with that, period. I think we would it would be a lot of the same to a degree. And Lincoln Riley may one day be a successful head coach in the pros. I don't see it right now. Cliff Kingsbury, I feel like he would have a hot year and a half, and then we remember that 2.1, 2.0, he never seems to be able to get those quarterbacks, even if we go back to college, to the supreme level that even people, nobody was like Patrick Mahomes was Patrick Mahomes. You know what I'm saying? Like, funny thing, you talk about Lincoln Riley and think about what some of the things that Lincoln Riley's done with quarterbacks that played under Cliff Kingsbury. You know, look at what Baker Mayfield's transferring to Oklahoma. I would say the person, and it's crazy for me because I'm about to say something that's gonna get me in some trouble. I'm always, listen, I think whistleblowers are necessary, are extremely necessary. I would have an issue running a business if I known that, and this isn't fair, someone is a whistleblower and then I bring them on. And I guess the problem would be I just need to make sure my I's are dotted and my T's are crossed, that I'm not doing anything that will have the whistleblower blow whistle on me. If I'm being honest, I'd love to have an offensive-minded head coach come in and run this. But I'm going to be honest, I wouldn't mind Flo being the Bears head coach. And that's Brian Flores, defensive coordinator for the Minnesota Vikings, who is the former head coach for the Miami Dolphins. He's somebody that would be on my list.
Yeah, Miami. Yeah.
No,
you're right,
Dolphins,
Miami. You're right.
Yeah.
The only issue I have with
somebody.
The only issue I have with that is, and it's kind of if that team does well, all right, the Bears win, Caleb starts progressing, that OC is going to leave. That's the problem, and I hate.
I told you this before. You can't be afraid. You cannot live in fear of your offensive coordinator doing what he's supposed to do. And your point is valid. But to me, again, I'm talking about head coaches, because the first thing we have to do is get a good head coach, regardless of what side of the ball.
Give me a leader of men first and foremost.
That's the thing that we have to, because even if the offensive coordinator is just straight, and we know, okay, next year we got to get somebody else in here, you still don't have the dip. You know what I'm saying? Like, dog, Mike Tomlin has how often has he really run the defense that he came up with for the Steelers? He's a cover 2 dude. You know what I'm saying? Where the Steelers are primarily a 3-4. And the reason I'm just pointing it out is you can still be good and it not be the way that you do good. So for me, I want someone who won. And again, this burns me saying this because I'm with you. I prefer an offensive guy, so shit doesn't really change. But one, how many offensive guys have done it before that are available? And I'm talking about head coaching and being an offensive guy. So that bumps Cliff Kingsbury really high up on this damn totem pole. And I don't think none of us are like, man, Cliff Kingsbury is the answer. You know what I'm saying? And one thing, and look, this is even me, and I know they didn't have the same players around because people keep connecting the dots between Cliff Kingsbury and Caleb. That wasn't Caleb's best year in college. Cliff Kingsbury was
sucked.
Like even if and again, it wasn't a bad suck though. It wasn't. I mean, the numbers weren't terrible numbers or whatever, they were numbers that could get you hired. But if we're talking about his zenith, that wasn't even the top Caleb, as you mentioned, his Heisman year. But also, it just to me, I think there are things that Cliff Kingsbury can do. I don't think he's an A to C guy. Now I could be wrong. I can say this. It could be a situation where Cliff Kingsbury is going through his Pete Carroll, where I think Pete Carroll to a degree got a raw deal with the Patriots. And I know he got to that Super Bowl with Bill Parcells' guys, but he still got them there. And the fact that they had an opportunity to bring in Belichick was like, and they did, listen, Bob Kraft did the right thing. He brought in someone that he thought was excellent compared to somebody he thought was probably good. And we saw that Pete Carroll then went to USC, what he did at USC, and then he went and made it to 2 Super Bowls and won 1 with Seattle. That could be what could happen to Cliff Kingsbury. It could be. That could be where he learned from what happened in Arizona. Now he knows better. And listen, if they hire him, that's what I would hope is the fairy tale ending. But there's a lot of other times where we've been in these situations and mugs don't really learn. And again, it's not. I'm saying it's like it's easy. Like I can just go up there and do it. You know what I'm saying? This is complicated because it's not just you got great plays. It's disseminating the plays and developing the people that you're trying to get to do the plays.
Yeah.
Who's he?
Yeah, Black Diamond says Kenneth. He's talking about Thomas Brown. Said Kenneth, all players like him. McVay speaks highly of him, and he was the assistant head coach when the Rams won it.
But even with that, just because someone speaks highly of you doesn't mean that you're a head coach right now and where you're at. And again, I'm not saying this is a good thing to have a quiver in your pouch. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not. This isn't a no F him type of thing that I'm saying.
Yeah, screw him. He's a bum.
No, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's nothing wrong with that. You want him. Listen, I would hope. I'm just talking about Black Diamond. I'm talking about the odds. Like because this is the thing. A lot that we do here, and Shawn, I've gotten on you about this. We get too close with the people that's around. And we always, when I used to joke with you about like the Bulls core, and you was talking about, I forgot who you used to say the Bulls core was. I was like, Shawn, did you? This wasn't even like Zach LaVine back when we was talking about. I was like, Shawn, who are you talking about? It's the core. Like, don't nobody want these players. Like, what are you saying? So again, like it's just like when people was talking about, well, we can't let go of Matt Eberflus because he's a great at DCing. Like, no, he can. Thomas Brown can be all those things and still not necessarily be ready. And guess what? I can also be wrong. Like this could be a situation where I could be saying this right now, and Thomas Brown could go on to be one of the best coaches the Bears have had ever. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to be here like, man, it's impossible. Ain't no fucking
low
way.
Bar, but I feel what you're saying.
Yeah, I'm saying like if we were saying this and it was your money that you were spending, and like it affected you as far as you eating, and it doesn't affect ownership because they're going to eat regardless. But you get the point that I'm trying to make.
Yeah.
If it's what people are saying about you, if it's your business, you're usually going to look for someone who's overly qualified. That's still the point. And I'm saying that that's justifiable because doing what you did in the past, like, and I was talking about to somebody like, remember Dick Duran? Like, we all knew Dick Duran was hot for a minute, but shouldn't have been extended. Like, let's be like, it was like, damn, when they extended Dick Duran, it was like, hey, this ain't gonna work, right? And it's like, that's the problem that happens a lot where you sit there because someone flashes. It was and again, I'll get off on this one because you'll know, Shawn. There was this is in the like 96, 95, 96. There was this old third baseman that the Cubs brought in. He had to be like 36, 37, right?
No more?
And he got hot. No. He was an old white dude, right? Like, he couldn't move. And they got him for a rental. They made the playoffs, I believe, this year. They got him for a rental. And they brought him back next year, and it was like, you shouldn't bring him back. And he stunk. And it was why the team didn't want his ass in the first place. I forgot where I can't remember what white guy this. It was a white third baseman. He got hot in the second half of the year, right? And Muggs was like, man, it was like, dog, you got out of him what you needed. Like, sometimes, to be honest, you got to take what you can get out of people and stop trying to get more out of them than what they necessarily have. And again, I'm pointing out, Thomas Brown can be excellent. Let me say this before we go. I'm going to do my due diligence outside the house to make sure I go through everyone that's outside of the house before I just hand over this job to someone in the house, because it's the same thing, the same rationale that I was applying to Trace Armstrong. You can't just say, well, I already know them, so that means that they're the best person. You have to go out and see. We've mentioned Mike Tomlin several times. Mike Tomlin wasn't supposed to get that job. Right. The reason that it was like they were doing the Rooney Rule then, and he stuck out to them and they hired him. So that point being, you need to talk to everyone, and that person, you can get back to Thomas Brown being him, but you still have to do your due diligence before you go ahead and give him the opportunity to be the head coach of the Bears moving forward.
Yeah, I hope he does well. I hope he develops Caleb. I just don't give me. I mean, there still is a chance that he could be the dude. All right. There is a chance. He's got a 5-game audition. All right. But give me a guy who can lead men, man. Just give me a guy who, because at this point, when you got to get that locker room back. All right. You got to get that locker room back.
With Shorty, I don't think anybody in the Bears higher up want Belichick for the same reason you say. I don't think Ryan Poles wants him. Before we even get to Kevin Warren. And also, I think there's still who is he? And again, I think Bill Belichick deserves another chance to coach in the pros. But I think you really have to have a come to Jesus moment with the front office about what he can do and what he can't do, because we know all the power he wants. And at first he may be like, I don't want all that power. He's going to want to pick the groceries out sooner. Like, that's just, he's going to want to, and that's going to cause something. So if you think your front office is weak and you want that insight, maybe, but you've seen that his bargain basement approach at some point just doesn't work if you don't have one of, if not the greatest quarterback of all time under center to boost up what he was doing with the New England Patriots.
Ken, great stuff as always, bro. I love our convo, which is why I reached out. Do me a favor to let everybody know where they can find you and your work online.
Yeah, That Davis. Just follow That Davis on social media, and I'll start hitting y'all with some weekly joints, talking some Bears. I don't know if I'm talking any of these other Chicago sports, Shawn. You do your due diligence talking bad sports here in this. I may extend it to basketball. Baseball's going to have to get better before I jump back into talking baseball. I love me some baseball. But, man, I like last year. Like, dog, the fact that you did last year is wild. Like, that, the fact, like, they don't deserve it. They just don't deserve the attention, and especially the amount of time you have to spend with baseball. But anyway, everybody in the chat, please be safe. I look forward to talking to y'all. Shorty, if not this Thursday, I promise I'll do it next Thursday. But everybody else, be safe. Mondo and Patty, I love y'all. Everybody, Marshawn, Black Diamond, everybody in the chat. I'm not trying to forget nobody. I appreciate y'all. Also, shout out to the great Sidney Brown, because he's one of the GOATs out here moving in the streets. So everybody be safe, man. I appreciate y'all.
You have a good Thanksgiving?
Yeah, I did have a good Thanksgiving. Went to one family's house. I was going to go to my family's house, but they had left. So we just hung out at Afton's and we played some family games, and it was great. So, I mean, dog, I didn't fry the turkey the last night, because we usually don't do ours till Friday, but we were just lollygagging. And so I can do it in the house as just a turkey breast, because it's also the amount of food that we eat here. I don't need a whole turkey, so I just fry turkey breast in the house, because I had a problem trying to fry it outside. The fry it wouldn't work, and I kept I was gonna blow myself up. This was like this was like 9 years ago, right? I took it back to Target.
Thank God you know it, bro. Thank God you knew that.
I took it back to Target. They didn't even say shit. They knew it was something was wrong with it. They was like, yeah, okay. I was like, I kept trying. It kept going out, and it was just like, this is gonna blow up. And I was like, so. But the last few years I've been frying in the house. But anyway, before I get at it, how was your Thanksgiving? How's your mom?
It was good, man. We always go to my cousin's house in Elgin, and man, we tore down. We threw down, bro. We threw down.
Good,
so it was
man.
good.
We gotta get up again. So let's go to a Bulls game.
Bulls game, yeah. Let's go to a Bulls game. Yeah.
Let's go to a Bulls game. So
hey, they're fun. They don't always win, but they're fun. They're hitting threes. Vooch is blocking shots. Zach's playing defense. Like, who are these mugs? What have you done with Vooch and Zach, and how long are they staying away?
You're too close to it. Happy holidays to all y'all too. But yeah, everybody be safe. The one thing, man, everybody be safe, man. And I appreciate y'all, I'm sure, for just being solid people, man. But I'll holler at y'all down the line.
All right, Ken. Thanks, man. Great stuff. I know. Guys, that's Ken Davis, my man, from the That's Davis podcast. Guys, have a phenomenal day. We're going to replay this at 6 o'clock tonight. So if you missed any part of it, you can go back. If you want to catch my rant on people who want to talk shit about me, yeah, turn it on at 6 o'clock. Hey, I hope you enjoy your holidays. All right. I hope you did. Hope you got to spend time with family, friends, loved ones, because tomorrow is promised to nobody. All right, folks, let me get out of here. From everyone here at Sports Zone Chicago, have a phenomenal House Music Monday. I'm your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra. Guys, you have a great day. Thank you for the love and support, Sports Zoners. I appreciate you. I love you. Your boy, the SuperBack. I am out.